I usually don't pay attention to mobile games. I mean, some of them are pretty good, I'll give them that, but usually I dislike the frequent shallow gameplay, the boring tutorials that keep asking you to click here, now click there, and obviously the aggressive monetization system. But when a friend says I should take a look at a certain game, well, I certainly do. And that was the case with Phantom Blade, created by S Games. But before I forget, hi, I am Savino, and this is The Flying Kick. So, what is Phantom Blade? Well, this is a semi-open world beaten up with lots of RPG elements like levels, gears and skills to pick. The game has some interesting mechanics that we will discuss in a few minutes. Phantom Blade, as you can see, has an interesting presentation. I love the backgrounds, they are beautiful detail and with lots of cool scenery to look at. Actually, there are some gorgeous vistas here in Phantom Blade with its oriental touch in the art style that makes everything look like a painting. It is very impressive. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about the characters. I think they look good and well animated, but I don't know, they look detached from the world. It's important, obviously, that your character is highlighted on a beaten up, or otherwise you would lose them in a fight, but here I think they are too much. Especially this pink thing that I decided to play as. I mean, I can't lose her even if I want to. The game also has some pretty nice done cutscenes, and I mean a lot of them, and it's here that you will learn about the world and your quests. Honestly, this is pretty impressive for a free mobile beaten up. More than that, the game claims to have English, Japanese, Korean and Chinese voiceovers. I said claim because the only voiceover that worked for me was Chinese. Actually, that's one of the reasons I didn't pay attention to the story. The game has a very lengthy one, but when I started the game was in English and during the cutscenes all I could hear was silence. No voices, no music, no sounds, nada. So I got bored of reading the small subtitles and pressed skip. But from what I could get from the story, this is your typical oriental drama with thousands of characters and places to remember. This is not a criticism, but if like me you skip the beginning of the story, chances are that you won't understand a thing going forward. Now when it comes to gameplay, well, this is as you may expect. Your typical mobile game filled with things to click, daily and weekly missions to take, and so on. You start picking one of the 4 characters, each one with its own fight style and skills, and you will be after the cutscene throwing a tutorial level that will give you the basics. The basics that honestly I think nobody here will need. It will teach you how to walk, jump, attack, I mean. It will also teach you how to select skills and apply a phantom to it. I explain. Phantom Blade has a very interesting combat mechanic that unfortunately falls short in its execution. Here you have 3 attack buttons, your regular attack and 2, let's call it special attacks. Your regular attack is a short sequence of slashes that works, but it will be always too weak to deal with most enemies. What you want to use here is your special moves, and they are very interesting. Your specials are made out of skills that you unlock as you play. At first, both your specials will have 3 slots where you can put any skill you want. More slots will also be unlocked as you play the game. And this, by combining these skills, you will prepare and execute your combos. This is a pretty cool system that allows the player to choose what is best for them. You can set up your character only with aerial attacks if you want, or start on the ground and then go to the air with your enemies. It's extremely versatile and interesting, not to mention fun to try the different combinations. And to add more variety to it, you can also add the so-called phantom cards that you can earn by playing the game or taking roles Genshin Impact style. That will improve your attacks with bonuses that go from fire damage to recover your health. It's a very interesting system, and while it may sound something like River City Girls where you can buy and use different moves as you see fit, the fact that these moves can be chained with a simple button pressing makes it very unique. But as you will see, it's also the game's greatest weakness. You will need these moves because your enemies can be very resilient. You see, here in this game, you and your enemies have a life bar and a shield that must be broken before you can really hit and juggle your enemy. Some of them have some pretty resistant shields, so you will need some good moves to break it, with a shield breaker phantom preferably. Your basic attack can break shields, but as I said, You will be better off using your special moves, because your normal attack is only useful when both of your specials are in cooldown. Yes, it has cooldowns, and how long it will take to cooldown depends on the type of skills you are using. Put only the most powerful skills in one sequence and we're talking about 15 seconds plus of waiting, and trust me, this is a long time in this game. You also need gear to better perform your tasks here, and this game has a lot of it, from gloves to trousers to amulets and so on. Picture Diablo or any action RPG for that matter, and you know what's waiting for you. And of course they have a rarity attached to them with the traditional color code, including green to indicate set items. You will get gear by completing quests and challenges or buying them on the seller with in-game currency. You can also upgrade your gear with materials you earn in each quest or recycle them to obtain money and or materials. And it does not end here, you also have a cooker on your base camp that can prepare meals to boost your stats. All you need to do is have the ingredients at hand for him to prepare it. You will find those in barrels and crates scattered around the world, or, of course, you can buy a few of them with the cooker. The game also has a multiplayer component where you can play some challenges with a friend or their clone in case they are offline. I'm not sure if you can play with other people in the story missions, but some of the challenges you can only play in a duo. Talking exclusively about the combat, you can see right now that it is flashy and it's pretty fun to get new skills and find out what works and what does not. The moves are all nice to see, especially with a phantom attached to it, and the way you juggle your enemies and how they react to your punishment can be very satisfying. Entering a room filled with enemies and dispatching them all with some flashy and colorful moves is pretty exciting, but you knew there was a but coming. Things are not as good as they seem at first. For starters, all your freedom to choose goes down the drain after you understand what Saki is. There are points called Saki that each one of your skills has. Some skills will give you Saki and some will consume it. And here's where your creativity comes to a halt. To get most out of the skills, you need Saki, otherwise they will work, but on its weaker form. Because of that, you are limited in your choices. You don't want to put a skill that consumes 2 Saki points first. You want it after 2 skills that generate at least 1 Saki. And since the number of skills is somewhat limited, chances are that in the end, your moves and your friends' moves will be basically the same. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, most beat'em ups are exactly like that, but what bothers me here is the fact that the game gives you a sense of freedom just to remove it after you understand its mechanics. And this is not all, I put around 15 hours or more into this game, and after that much time the veil started to fall. You see, while there are some interesting mechanics here, the game is boring as heck. After you find out the best way to lay out your skills, this is all you will do. Go to a room, press the button a couple of times, and that's it. There's no technique involved and there's no timing required except for a quick dodge or a parry if you want. The parry is actually very interesting because it can give back some of the damage to the enemy, but you'll be better off just stepping aside the attack. All you do here is press 2 different buttons a couple of times and use your basic attack here and there when you wait for your skills to cool down. Not to mention that the game is insanely easy. I only died once in these 15 hours and that's because my cat dropped a glass on the floor and I forgot to hit pause. It is an interesting experience because when I started to play the game I was very excited to tell you guys about it, think that someone had found a gem, but after hours and hours analyzing the combat, testing and trying different stuff, I was seeing that, despite the freedom the game seems to have, it is more limited than Double Dragon, the original one. Because, you see, in Double Dragon, let's say fighting against a Bobo, I could choose if I would land a flying kick or start attacking with a kick, a punch, or maybe a headbutt, or who knows, maybe I'm on a hurry and I want to finish him with my elbow. Or maybe I decide that I want to defeat him by throwing enemies at him. You got my point. In most beat'em ups you have tons of options to start your attacks and to finish your enemies, and here, well, here you have 2 options that will repeat ad nauseam after you get the best moves. Now let's talk about the monetization. This is one of those games that thinks it's okay to charge you $100 for a handful of virtual coins. I mean, really? I'm not saying it's wrong to ask for some money, not at all. You can see there's a lot of work and sweat in this game, but do you really think your game is worth $100? There's also the obligatory Battle Pass, which will give you materials, costumes and other trinkets, and of course the 5000 different currency you have to deal with. But to be honest, the monetization here isn't aggressive. In no moment in my playthrough I hit a paywall or something like that, and on my phone the game had no ads. So it's more a case where you pay if you want to, or at least so far. But yeah, that $100 microtransaction really makes the game look bad and the developers extremely greedy. Seriously, how did they charge $100 for a bucket of virtual coins? I'm not against microtransaction, but if you have to do it, make it cheap and not guided towards the whale. Maximus 2 is free on mobile, and with $10 you remove the ads, buy a lot of coins to get funny skins and something like 100 continues for you, and you can play it offline. That's how you do microtransactions. And that's Phantom Blade Executioners, a game with some great ideas, nice graphics and poor execution that is tainted by repetition. The game is fun to try, especially at the beginning when you're learning the ins and outs of the game, but after some time you will start to see the same enemies, the same bosses, and you will face them using the same moves you have been using for hours. For a free game, there aren't really bad things I can say about it, especially because the game does not force you to pay for anything, but if you want to invest your time in something, I don't think this will be it. The game is available right now for free on mobile devices and PC. I will leave a link in the description in case you want to check it for yourself. And that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick overview. I was planning a video for Saturday, but I don't think I will finish it in time thanks to a record-breaking heat wave that's plaguing my town and make my life miserable. But I will try. If you like what I do here and want to support me in any way, you can like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, or you can become a member for only $3 a month. It will help me to grow and buy more games to bring to you guys here. And you can get ad-free videos and recommend games for me to review. Other than that, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and remember, keep it up. Yeah.